Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's 6:30 a.m., May 21st, and price of Bitcoin currently at 93.34. Looks like we had another slide from yesterday evening, up from about $9,600 down to, we put in a lower low about 92.14 or so. Now we climbed back up, maybe about $100, right here. But it looks like, BTC wants to keep sliding down, and we'll see exactly how far it wants to go. Again, if we start looking on the 4-hour time frame, the one thing that I've noted is, first thing, what we really want to see is the first level right in front of us is this key wick right here, okay? That's around 92.81 or so. If we close below that, that would probably signal at least us coming down to this area right here, which is the low of this wick, 9100, or at least towards these highs right here, which would be your resistance turning into support on the other side again. It already did that technically when, all this was resistance, 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 and then blasted up through, quick retest as support, and then push back up. But I would probably figure that this key area would still be support on the way down for price once it makes its way down. And that area is somewhere around 89.25, okay? Yesterday I made a video of how I believe that there are hedge funds and institutions that are showing that they are more net short. Oops, let's bring this one down. That they are more net short than the non-reportables, which are typically, some of your professional traders, your individual traders, and retail also on the CME platform that are long, okay? So fact of the matter is, the one thing that I'm seeing at present moment is that, the open interest itself, okay? The open interest itself kept climbing up, all right? The non-commercials, again, which are your hedge funds or your larger players in the market, or actually increasing their short exposure right down here. So if we're having open interest go up, right? So open interest was climbing up, as you can see right here, and then price was going down, okay? EXO has this simple formula of trying to figure out, okay, well, if price is going down, open interest is going up, that means there are new shorts coming into the order flow, right? So same thing right here, same logic applies, okay? Now, I don't really usually do this. I don't respond to YouTube comments and videos, but I figured this person right here, Marvin Chebby, was kind enough to write out a larger comment. So I figure I'd comment on that, even though I think he was being more critical of my analysis, and that's okay. We had a meaningful discussion on Twitter, so I'm gonna answer him right now in the video. Okay, so he says, first point, because yesterday in my video, I mentioned how on this whole move up, okay, on this whole move up, volume was overall declining, all right? So price was going up, volume was declining, as you can see. And then we see a spike in volume right at the high. Not bursting out of the high, or rather the resistance, but right before the key lower high right here, from these two highs, right? And so my reasoning for this is the reason we see a spike of volume up here is because I think the sellers are starting to get involved over here, okay? Sellers and shorters. This entire move, I think, was, either generated by oversold conditions, maybe a lot of players were, liquidated out of the market, or there just wasn't enough ceiling pressure for sellers to step in and keep pressing the price down from here. So it's easy for the buyers to keep pushing the price up, but they meet real supply up here. And so you see a spike of volume right at the top, not breaking resistance, but before resistance. This is a bad sign. This is a sign that sellers are actually still waiting. They're getting their bags filled as efficiently as they can at a specific price range, and we're not actually bursting through the range, okay? If we see a huge, spike of volume like this one right here, this kind of candle with this kind of volume size going through this level, 10,550, this key high right here, then I'd say, okay, well, I'm wrong. that means that this surge of volume was maybe a slight, I don't know, reaccumulation and then, push up after. But I'm not wrong at present moment, because the surge of volume over here, the open interest increasing and price slightly decreasing, as well as non-reportables going up and non-commercials, having more short exposure, are clearly indicating to me that there are a multitude of factors that are showing us there are reasons that this is the top. Okay, so to answer his question, all right, let's get to it. So volume is descending during this uptrend 4K to 10K. Look at the 2009, 2012 SPX. SPX doesn't have volume, so he probably means SPY ETF. There was no increasing volume until we broke microstructure, or I don't know if he means micro or macro. The volume analysis is irrelevant until sellers step in and eventually get trapped. That's not true. 10K is the first time sellers stepped in. That is true. If we break 10K, they'll be trapped and you'll see some volume. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm saying that if you see more surge of volume through resistance, not towards resistance, that's different. When you see volume just before resistance, that means sellers are stepping up. Shorters are stepping up. Okay, so let's discuss this point right here. Look at the 2009 to 2012 SPX, so SPY ETF. Okay, so here is 2009 right here, base all the way to 2012. Okay, so let's check it out. So we see, this bottom being formed with high volume, understandable because there's a lot of people selling and a lot of people holding up the bottom. Price moves up for the next year or two, right? Again, on declining volume. As you can see, the only place we start seeing volume step up, guess what? Right up here in this particular area. And guess what? We have a pullback from this key high down to this key low right here, about 17%. Okay? Again, volume steps up right into this consolidation block of resistance on the way back up, right? Volume steps up right here. Sellers come in. You could clearly see sellers right here increasing their volume, as you can see, as price gets up here. Sellers step up, and then finally buyers pick it back up and then drive price up higher, right? Again, so let's go forward. Again, you see a big surge in volume up here. This is again, sellers step up, push price down further, right? But that creates a higher low as per this swing low right here. So low, higher low, again, buyers keep driving the price up. So I don't see the point, right? Both times sellers stepped up right pretty much at the key highs of volume surging, and you can see price again at this point dropped at least 20% right there, or with this wick right here about 22%. Okay, same thing that we're seeing right now, right? We may have already had the pullback, but I personally believe we have another pullback to come, in my opinion. So I personally think we're going to have another leg down. Now, again, that doesn't really mean anything of how this person, Marvin, looks at the data or I do. It really matters what price is going to do going forward. So let's keep digging into his points, okay? Regarding OI, I don't know if your bias is making you blind. Sorry, don't mean to be aggressive, okay? The two spikes in OI, when you look at the daily chart, occurred on May 5th. Yes, I agree. And on May 12th. Yes, I agree. So, again, what Marvin is, again, failing to see is that, so he's talking about these spikes, okay? So this is your, where is it? This is your May 5th spike right here where price moves up all the way to, where is this, 10,220, which is what he's talking about, right? Price went from 89.90, followed an increase to 10,220 on the CME exchange. And then after that, we had another spike right there, okay, where price went towards 10,070, which was this key high. Again, open interest kept going up, yet price was creating, as per this key high right here, right? 10,220 high, 10,070 high, and now we're rolling over. So open interest going up, price rolling over. As we know, when that happens, price is actually bearish, okay? Because as per, you can see XO right here, right? open interest going up, price rolling down. Okay, new shorts are coming in. So that covers these points right here. So I'm agreeing with you on point A and B, except what you're not seeing is open interest is still going up, price is still creating lower highs. All right, data is updated weekly, so I'm not even sure it's relevant to analyze data in parallel. No, that's wrong, because it's very relevant to analyze. The only thing relevant is that we're under resistance, so it's hard to have a bull bias. Of course, I totally agree with that. No need to make stuff up to go along with your bias. I'm not making stuff up. I already stated like 5 different reasons why I think price should go down. Whether it's volume analysis, whether it's OIs showing that it's increasing versus price slowly decreasing. You could literally see right here the non-commercials showing that there's more short exposure versus non-reportables. These are typically the people who, more often than not, are the ones who make it the market wrong. These are the people who may not have as much money as non-commercials. There's multitude of reasons why you can state that price over here was toppy. Aside from the fact that, we had about 8 straight weeks of upside. And then finally, I think just 2 weeks ago, we had, this kind of candle right here, a bearish doji candle, a follow-up candle, which looks bullish. But now we have to see if the bears are strong enough with this weekly candle to press it down. Okay. So, point is, I think I refuted all your points, and, I don't think there's anything further to discuss. The only thing that matters, again, is what price does going forward, right? So if price keeps going down, again, it's not going to be one reason of one of your points that you got right. It could be a multitude of reasons, right? There's another comment down here. Bike bowling, it says, decline in volume, increased open interest, and tightening prices are just the market's way of telling us market inflection point is coming. That's what I'm saying too, yes, except I'm taking a step further of analyzing the data and showing you that why this could be the top, right? I never necessarily said that this has to be the top. In this case, it was an ascending triangle on the daily from 3,600, as well as a partial breakdown from 9,750 recently. I don't think there's anything from the chart that would imply institutions are just looking to dump on retail. I never said that. I was just saying that institutions are increasing their short exposure. And again, with the volume analysis that we have up here, and even if you do just a regular sentiment analysis of how many people are far more bullish up here, it kind of just goes to show that, with such an extended move, we still have a lot of people, still long. You can even see the net long exposure on BitMEX or Bitfinex, all these other exchanges. It's significantly high, okay? So, point is, I don't really like answering YouTube comments, but I think these two people were nice enough to at least comment in somewhat of a nice way. And I think I've answered my reasoning behind why I believe this could be the top. And I'm short, and I'm going to stay short until I see, invalidation to my theory otherwise. But it's never one reason, right? In my analysis from yesterday, you can go watch it again from May 20th. I stated that, there's many reasons why we can consider short positioning up here, aside from the great risk to reward that we have of being short up here, aside from the fact that we've had 8 straight weeks with no meaningful pullback. The ES itself, which is another thing that I've mentioned, right? So the S&P 500, or even if you look at the futures contract, the ES, same thing, right? I still do believe that we're somewhere close to this area that may be a top. If we start rolling over, I think BTC is going to start rolling over as well. But Bitcoin is already doing its job of slowly sliding down, right? So we just need to start seeing continuation to the downside, volume increasing as the candle spread gets bigger and bigger. Okay, that will confirm our potential, maybe something like a double top or something up here, and then we start rolling down. Or simply we kind of make a grind down, chop around up here, and then fall down again. I don't quite know what it's going to do, but, I am still short, and I'm gonna stick to my short until I'm proven otherwise. Another good thing is that, if you look at this range high that I've been mentioning for almost about 2 or 3 weeks now, the high of 29th April right here is the key range high that I picked, and the low right here is around 8407. Okay, so these two highs have kind of showed price as key support resistance levels, and so when we come back over here, you can see this whole area was chopped right around the range high. This was support right there. This, did not allow price to go too much further above the range high, and now we're breaking back inside the range. So it could be a positive sign again for the bears that if they keep hammering price down, this could go down further towards 9100 or 8925, which is the EQ of this range. Okay. Now, last but not least, the one thing, let's pull this up. My voice is giving out in the mornings. I don't know why. Let's go to the weekly right here. All right. So here's another thing that I find, here's another thing that I find interesting on the weekly. Let me just drag this down over here. Okay. Here's another thing that I find interesting on the weekly. All right. The Stochar RSI is hitting that overbought territory up here as prices, again, like I mentioned, in my opinion, sort of coming to that rounding movement, okay, or maybe a potential top. So this could be another, confluence of reasons why you can make the decision that this could potentially be the top, okay? Here's another thing on the hash ribbons, the indicator, right? So typically when we've seen these two, I forgot what these are called again, these two lines, the green and the gray line right here, when they start closing in like this is where you start seeing that, minor capitulation come in, right? Even in March, you saw that line closing in very fast, and you saw this kind of minor capitulation come in. So again, this is another reason why you could say potentially we could be coming into that, minor supply influx of more miners potentially selling alongside of the other things that we've been talking about, where shorts might be increasing. The Bitcoin CME futures contract would also be potentially, more net short versus they are long. And then yesterday in our video, I mentioned Deribit, okay? So some of the contracts on Deribit we have ending today, tomorrow, and then the 29th. All right, so let's go to those contracts. And the interesting thing about this is, so actually, I guess the 21st contract already ended. So 22nd is the next one right in front of us. So we have a good amount of put side volume on the 7,500 area for today, right? Again, doesn't necessarily mean that we're definitely going to head towards that area, but it's important to pay attention to put and call side volume on a specific strike price as well as a specific date, okay? So for the most part, in terms of size, no real, nominally high size in the call side. Maybe there's some right here around 10,000 for 45, but you can see, size of 90 right around 7,500 puts, okay? That's the highest size, right? 23rd of May, so that's tomorrow. What do we have there? Let me see here. Nothing on the call side. Nothing significant on the put side either. All right, so let's look up 29th of May. Okay, so 29th of May. More significant on the 8,000 strike price on the puts. Okay, also on the 9,000 puts right there. Let me see over here. 10,500 is the highest size that we have for the call side. Okay, so the reason we look at this is because when you see a lot of size in a particular contract, you realize that there may be more players involved in that contract, right? More interest. Okay, so more interest means that more players who are larger size may be looking to get in and out of their positions around that specific, contract size, or I'm sorry, that specific strike price, because that's where a lot of the liquidity is. That's where a lot of the volume or, players are actually getting in and out of. So it's, important to at least pay attention to those put and calls contracts that I mentioned for these specific dates. We are coming to the end of the week, and we're also coming to the end of the month. So we might see some very interesting volatility through the rest of the month. We have about, it's May, so I think we have like 9 more days, 10 more days coming into the end of the month. So I would expect some volatility coming in, all right? So these are just things to pay attention to. Again, I am still short. I still do believe we're probably going to head down further for the many reasons I've mentioned in my videos. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? That's okay. But I've made my case clear of why my bias has been short, and why I've been shorting basically from back here. You can look in our community. I've been shorting from back here, held through all of this in a losing position, but did not let my position go, because I didn't see anything that was telling me that we were overly bullish, okay? So, it just goes to show, it's not like I entered at the top and said, all right, we're going down. I've been short since over here, all right? Or actually, I think I've been short since over here. Let me check. See when I entered my short, actually. Yeah, well. Oh, actually, no, I opened up my short around May 13th, I think. Let's see here. Yeah, so May 12th was the first date that I started shorting. So that was around way the heck over here. 11th and 12th, right around this area. Shorting, 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 and then on the way back down, I held through all of this, okay? So it's not that, I just got in at the top and now I'm telling everyone we have to go down. I've held through the pain, okay? I knew what I was doing up here. And if I was wrong, I would have paid for that, right? But so far I'm not wrong, in fact, I think I'm just about break even right now. Let me see what my average is. My average is about 93.25, okay? And I put that up May 15th, right? So yeah, I've been sitting in losses, but hey, I told you guys that, there's a decent amount of conviction that I have for the many reasons why I listed, why I'm short. So I'm going to stick to it, okay? Stick to it until you get proven wrong. And then, you could get out at a loss or whatever. I don't have any reason to adamantly hold my position. I'm never someone who's going to say we have to go down, we have to go up. You guys know my style, and I mentioned many of the reasons. And again, if these two guys want to come join our community and, you want to sort of have your analysis be contrarian to mine, I'm more than welcome to it, okay? It's whatever is going to make us money at the end of the day is what matters, right? Who cares if you're right or wrong? It's if you make money from it, okay? All right, well, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoy this content. Give me a thumbs up if you do. I've covered a lot of analysis for today. Come join our Advantage community, folks. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment of your thoughts if you think we're going to go up or down. If so, how high, how low over the end of the month. And until then, y'all take care, and I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers.